Hey everyone. A number of people were asking for my impression on Shadow of the Erdtree's lore, so I thought I'd make this quick video in response. Spoilers ahead. So far, I've done pretty much everything I can do in a first playthrough of the DLC, and I've gone through all the text once, comparing a few things here and there, but I'm definitely going to want to spend more time sifting through everything. Overall, I have some pretty mixed feelings about the lore. On one hand, I'm glad we got more information about things like the Crucible, the Fingers, the Ancient Dragons, and Miquella, but I'm also a little disappointed how disjointed it feels from the base game. I think the biggest offender that's definitely going to weigh on most people's minds is the nature of the relationship between Miquella and Radahn. I don't really care that Miquella wanted Radahn to be his lord, but it does kinda suck that the nature of their relationship is mostly limited to a couple missable NPC interactions. It would have made a lot more sense to me if Miquella wanted the body of the strongest demigod for his own, and I was legitimately excited to learn that Mohg was bewitched by Miquella as I long suspected, but there just wasn't enough done with the reveals to make them feel like a payoff, I guess. I really liked the fight and presentation of Midra as a Lord of Frenzied Flame, but it just doesn't slot in very well with what we know about it in the base game, and it makes me question the hows and whys the Three Fingers came to be sealed beneath Leyndell, or why Vyke isn't anywhere near comparable to Midra's level. Despite everything with the Hornsent taking up the main focus of the DLC, it kind of doesn't feel very impactful to me insofar as it relates to the base game and Marika's ascension to power, which we still know very little about. I like a lot of the individual things about them, and while I'm sure it probably fits together somehow, it's kind of a headache trying to piece together where the Hornsent, the Nox, the Ancient Dynasties, Metter, and the Fire Giants all fit into things. I'm a little baffled we didn't get more information about Marika's ascension and more information pertaining to Destined Death in general. It's also really funny to me that we've got a cutscene of Miquella gesturing to the Shadow Tree at the Gated Divinity in the first Shadow of the Erdtree trailer, but nothing that corresponds to it in the final version of the game. This kinda makes it feel like the DLC was rushed and that too much got cut, but it's not the end of the world and this doesn't really bother me too much. But what does really bother me is that the Shaman Village is canonically Marika's hometown. Does this mean the Newmen are from the Shadow Realm? Are they all just Shaman or Miko? Also, if the Omen are just Hornsent and the Miko are canonically not Hornsent, then why are Mohg and Morgott Omen, but Godwyn and Messmer are not? Most of my fundamental questions about the base game's lore remain unanswered, and what we do get tends to feel a little contrived or made up expressly for the purposes of the DLC. For instance, why does Miquella need to go through the Gate of Divinity at all, whereas Ranni does not? Is it because she'd already discarded her Empyrean flesh? If so, why did she go through with her plans the way she did, instead of discarding herself piecemeal like Miquella did? Would Blythe have not allowed it? What about Miquella or Malenia's shadows? A lot of this stuff wasn't foreshadowed in a meaningful way by the base game, and what little was foreshadowed, like R'hllana, just doesn't feel very impactful in the grand scheme of things. The stories of R'hllana, the Hornsent, and Miquella and Radahn feel like they could be changed or replaced with none the wiser, and with the rewrites of Miquella's lore from the cut content of the base game not lining up very well with the DLC, it really makes me wonder about George R.R. Martin's involvement in the story and a supposed blueprint of the lore of the game. I don't care that things changed, and I'm not really attached to the cut content at all, but I can't help but feel everything done to build up Miquella as a character was done more or less out of convenience and isn't consistent with what was shown in the base game. Miquella studied Golden Order fundamentalism, but abandoned it when he couldn't cure his sister's scarlet rot. He created the Halig Tree for a new order and watered it with his blood. Sacramental buds were hinted to have been watered with Miquella's blood, but when we get to the DLC, we have Empyrean blood virgins instead, saying Miquella had golden blood all along. I can overlook Saint Trina having nectar blood virgins, but we also never get any resolution for Miquella's plan to use the eclipse to lay Godwyn's soul to rest. My man's may be a child prodigy that's gifted, but he really should have considered abandoning his executive dysfunction and ADHD if he really wanted to become a god. Beyond that, I did really like how Michola was characterized with the way he imposed a pact of non-aggression on his followers, and how most chose to still follow him even once the spell were off, but a part of me is afraid that the less media literate fans of the game are going to overlook his glaring flaws. For instance, Michola sought to accept all, yet unlike Ranni, who would accept everything by setting it free, Michola chose to compel his compatriots' affection. It seems Michola was unaware of his own hypocrisy though, which is why it would have been nice to know Radahn's opinion on Michola's vows, especially since they're so out of left field. Even so, a lot of people are going to miss how Jaren would have been opposed to Michola's plan, or how Ansbach, a follower of Mohg, claims Michola's a monster just because they see what Michola did to Leda and her compatriots as a good thing. I am not entirely sure what I want to focus on next beyond streaming the DLC, but I'm thinking of maybe making some pretty impromptu videos talking about some of the differences between the English and Japanese versions of the game. I'm kind of at a loss right now since there doesn't really seem to be much that ties into the base game, so if you guys are really interested in something in particular, let me know in the comments or on the Discord. This more or less summarizes my current thoughts on the DLC, and I'll probably begin streaming it in the next couple days, so stay posted for updates on that. So until then, take care, stay safe, Last Protagonist out.